Welcome back to the Heart of Destiny 2 Weapons in Depth. In this episode, we'll look at low rate of fire pulse rifles, which includes high impact and aggressive frame. These are potent rifles that hit hard with each burst. So what do? What are their strengths and weaknesses, and which are best? The high impact frame, which includes the kinetic Redrix broadsword from a Crucible quest and Einstein from the Gunsmith. The aggressive frame includes the kinetic weapon Blast Furnace from the Black Armory and Go Figure from World Drops, as well as the energy weapon Right Side of Wrong from the Tangled Shore. What do? These weapons are very similar, with their key difference being that high impact fire 3 shots per burst while aggressive fire 4. Let's look at rate of fire. These have the same bursts per minute of 112.5, but due to the difference in how many shots they fire in a burst, their rounds per minute are different, being 337 RPM for high impact, while aggressive fire at 450 RPM. Their burst delay is also different for the same reason, the high impact having a delay of 0.4 seconds between bursts, while the aggressive have a delay of 0.33 seconds. Next, damage. High impact deal 20 damage to the body and 33 to the head, while aggressive deal 16 to the body and 27 to the head. They both have the same crit multiplier of 1.65 times. Let's look at PvP damage per second. DPS is useful for identifying a weapon's base or overall strength. It won't tell you its situational strength, like how time to kill identifies a weapon's effectiveness in the situation of downing a high health target. High impact have a body shot DPS of 110 and a headshot DPS of 182, which is the lowest of all pulse rifles. While aggressive frame have a body shot DPS of 120 and a headshot DPS of 198, which is only worse than adaptive frame pulse rifles. Okay, now we're to shots to kill. High impact require 10 body shots or 6 headshots, while aggressive frame require 12 body shots or 8 headshots. Note that high impacts will need 7 headshots to down high armor targets, and aggressive will need 13 body shots to down high armor targets. Remember that it will be important for the next point. Because you have to fire full bursts with pulse rifles, whether or not you need to actually hit all the shots in the burst to down your target, we will also need to look at bursts to kill. High impact require 4 bursts of body shots or 2 bursts of headshots, while aggressive require 3 bursts of body shots or 2 bursts of headshots. Now this is where those high armor targets come in. For high impacts, you'll need to fire a 3rd burst if the target has high armor or you miss even 1 headshot, and aggressives will require 1 more burst for bodies. These extra bursts will hurt your time to kill quite severely. Okay then, let's talk time to kill. High impacts will down targets with body shots in 1.6 seconds and 0.67 seconds with headshots, while aggressive is looking at 1.27 seconds with body shots and 0.73 seconds with headshots. In full burst, that's 1.73 seconds and 0.67 seconds for high impacts, while nothing changes for aggressives. Again, this is where those high armor targets come in. High impact headshot jumps to 1.2 seconds if the target has high armor or you miss even 1 headshot, while aggressive's 1.27 second body shots jumps to 1.6 seconds. Finally, let's talk range. You've got 2 main questions here. Should I look for high range stat, and should I look for high zoom scopes? With a low range stat and a low zoom, these will have a minimum range of 44 meters, which is not so bad. Range kinda goes like this: 30 meters equals medium range, 40 to 50 meters equals mid to long range, and 60 meters equals long range. It will depend on how you wish to use your pulse rifle. With a low range stat and high zoom, you'll be looking at a minimum range of 62 meters, which will allow you to compete within that long range area at the cost of peripheral vision. In my experience, I also found the lower zoom scopes felt more sticky with higher bullet magnetism, while the higher zoom scopes felt easier to control and more accurate. 3 shots versus 4 shots. Alright, let's talk damage and rate of fire. These weapons have high damage within their burst and slow overall rate of fire. These weapons have the same BPM and so will have the exact same pacing, but tracking and shot placement will be different between the two. The 4 burst has a longer time that it takes to fire the burst, while a shorter time between the bursts. This means you'll have less time to line up your second burst and will be punished more for misplacement of your bursts. When you look at the aggressive type, you may say, hey, it looks a little more forgiving, which is true, but also consider that firing 4 shots each burst can lead to more misses compared to the regular 3. Pros. These things hit hard. With quite competitive potential time to kill, these can down opponents far faster than you expect. These have plenty of range, and when used with higher zoom scopes can easily compete at scout rifles' optimal range. I recommend using only scopes that offer some range. If you use iron or projection style sights, you'll want to stick to fairly medium range engagements. The cons. These are slow, kick hard, and are unreliable. The high impact have so strict requirement for 2 bursting, such that you'll land them very infrequently, and will certainly not be able to rely on them in a duel where you'll be dealing with flinch from enemy fire. You'll typically have to fire 3 bursts, which these weapons do slower and generally worse than most other pulse rifles, thanks to their slower rate of fire and high recoil. Viability. Getting 2 burst kills is extremely satisfying. Apart from that though, these weapons fall flat. If these are to ever become viable as even a half decently competitive weapon, they will need to be given some improvement. Maybe more stability or higher damage, or even handling would improve things significantly. In the current meta, using a bow or sniper will be more advantageous at long range, or a hand cannon for medium range. I really wanted to enjoy these weapon types, but sadly no matter how much I used them, I couldn't prove them as viable in any way. I know many use these frequently and love them. Maybe on PC, where recoil is much less a factor, these are good. What to look for? The best sights in my opinion are the Myron RDS, SC Hollow, and King Sight K1. The top perks are, number 1, Kill Clip. With this perk active, 2 burst kills will be significantly easier. Yes, we'll still need to hit headshots, but half as many. Number 2, Snapshot Sights. You'll want to be able to ADS quick to get on target as soon as possible, so your first burst connects with your target with the best placement possible. Number 3, Outlaw. Kill Clip is your best perk for these weapons, so you'll need this perk to make the reload lightning speed so you can get back in the action. Other great perks to look for include Drop Mag, which will act as a great replacement for Feeding Frenzy or Outlaw. Feeding Frenzy. It only rolls on Blast Furnace and is certainly one of the best options for that weapon. Ricochet Rounds. It offers more range and 10 stability, making it an exceptional option. My god rolls to look for. Number 1, Blast Furnace with steady rounds, Feeding Frenzy, and Kill Clip. Number 2, Blast Furnace with Drop Mag, Snapshot Sights, and Kill Clip. Number 3, Einstein D with Ricochet Rounds, Outlaw, and Kill Clip. Go Figure with Ricochet Rounds, Outlaw, and Kill Clip. Look for Stability Masterworks. What do you think of high impact and aggressive pulse rifles? Are there any more interesting rolls you've had fun with? Please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next episode.